So I'm going to show you a couple of movements for releasing the shoulders and also for releasing the legs and the lower back. So let's get started. We're going to work on the floor. So if you need to use something to support the back of your head, a little block or a little folded hand towel, just to make sure the head and the neck are in the right position, grab that. And then I'm going to ask you to settle yourself down on the floor, lying on your back facing the ceiling. So just posturally, we want to make sure that your legs are bent, the feet are flat on the floor, the feet and the knees are about hip bone distance apart, and you're resting back on the shoulders, and you want to feel like the rib cage is down, so we haven't got a space underneath your lower back essentially. So we want to be in what we call neutral spine. So the natural curves are in place, including that tiny little lumbar gap in here. You get about half a hand behind the back of your waist. So we're going to begin with the shoulders, a release for the shoulders. So we're going to start by taking the hands above your shoulders, so the palms of the hands face each other, and the hands want to be at shoulder width apart. So looking towards the ceiling just in front of you in terms of your neck posture. We're going to reach directly upwards towards the ceiling. Hands stay at shoulder width apart. And you'll really feel the back of the shoulder blades pulling away from one another. Keep the head down and keep the back down. And maybe just make a little connection into the core. So just draw the tummy muscles down towards the spine just a little. Let's take a deep breath in here. And then as you breathe out, just drop the shoulders back onto the floor. So we can do that again. So reach up through both arms. Hands stay at shoulder width. So really pulling through the backs of the shoulders gently. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, just drop the shoulders back onto the floor again. We're going to do that again, but this time as you reach the hands up, bring them towards each other about 4 inches apart. So we're going in that kind of movement as we reach up. And we're just going to open out the backs of the shoulders a little bit more by doing that. So hands above your shoulders again, and then reach up and take the fingertips towards each other, but leave a gap of about 4 to 6 inches or so. So really pulling around the outside of the arms and the shoulders. And take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, release that. So we'll do that again. So reach up. So you keep your back pressing into the floor gently. Gently draw the tummy muscles down to the spine, reaching up. So we're kind of pulling the shoulder blades apart across your back. Breath in. And then as you breathe out, release that. You might just want to take the arms back to the floor behind you for a moment and take a full stretch out through those arms. Then we're going to do a little bit more work on the shoulders, and we're going to take the arms, both of the arms, out to the sides. Okay, so the palms of the hands are facing the ceiling. And then one at a time, we're going to raise, so I'm going to raise my right arm. I'm going to bring it across the body to touch the inside of my left arm. So obviously the arm has to bend. I'm going to reach down, and my head is rotated towards my left as well. I'm going to reach down through this arm with my fingers, but I'm going to keep my legs and my hips still. And what I'm looking to do here is just to open up this side of the shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to reach down and take a nice deep breath in for the stretch, and then let that go. And then I'm going to switch sides. So that arm goes across. The left arm comes across to reach the inside of that right arm. I've turned my head towards the right as well, and I'm reaching down through that right arm with the left. Legs stay still. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, release that and take the arm back across. We'll do that another time on each side. So bring the right arm up, across to the left, and then reach it, but keeping everything else still through the legs and the pelvis. So as you're reaching, just hold for a moment and deep breath in. And then let that go. And we'll do that one more time across to the right. So left arm comes across. It's touching the inside of that right arm. Reaching, but keeping my legs and hips still. So breath in. And then as you breathe out, release that. So you can do it in all of those movements, the ones that the little shoulder releases that we did there, shoulder drops we call those, or this one. You can do at least 8 of those on each side for these, and at least 8 of those. You're not going to do any harm. Just make sure your shoulders feel okay doing it. So I'm going to move on to the legs. So this movement, you can do it static, so we can hold the leg in and send the other leg away. If that's enough of a stretch for you, what we're looking at doing is stretching this opposite leg, the leg that is straight. We're stretching it right at the top front of the, I'll show you on this one, right here is where we're looking to stretch in the hip flexor. So we draw the knee in and we press the back of the straight leg down towards the floor. If that's enough for you and your back doesn't feel brilliant, then don't do the next bit, just stay with this. This is just a nice release for the hip flexors. So you'd hold this for about a count of 40 and then change sides, and you could do that twice on each side, no problem. Otherwise, we're going to make it more of a dynamic movement. If you're okay to lift your head, lift your head. So the back wants to be pressing into the floor. The other leg is reaching long, the feet are pointed, the chin is tucked, and we're holding this leg in, the shoulders are drawn down and back, so we're not up here. And then we raise the other leg off the floor, and we switch, and switch. So you're pulling the bent leg in as close as you can, and you keep your back pressing into the floor. You keep the tummy muscles drawing down towards the spine, which is your little bit of core work there as well. So reaching long through that leg. If you struggle to put your back on the floor, take the leg a bit higher when it goes forward, just so that you can keep that lower back pressing down. Okay, and we'll maybe do another 2 of these. And then bring both knees in and bring your head down. Take a little rock from the side to side, single leg stretch that is. So it's really working on the core a little, but also on the hip flexors, these muscles here, which come up into the lower back. To finish off, for a little bit of release for the lower back now, some rotation. I'm going to ask you to place your hands on the rib cage and let your elbows rest on the floor. Feet and knees come together. So make sure the chin is slightly tucked, and then from here we're going to take both knees out to the side a little way. Try and keep your ribs still and beneath your hands. So engage the core, draw the tummy muscles down to the spine. And then take the knees back into center. And then to the other side, draw the tummy muscles down towards the spine. Keep the ribs nice and still if you can, and back into center. So maybe use your breath out to the side and a breath into center. So breathing out to the side, drawing the ribs down at the front and center. Breathing out to the side. Try and keep the feet and the knees together as best friends. And again, out to the side. So feet and knees. So you'll notice one of my feet is off the floor now as it goes out to the side. And center. So just trying to keep the ribs underneath the hands. And you can challenge that by engaging your core, letting your knees go just a tiny bit further. See if you can still keep the ribs still, and that will just force or encourage a little bit more rotation in the lower spine. So just take the knees, see if they go a tiny bit further. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And back into center. Let's do a couple more of those on each side. So that movement is working on the muscles in the lower back, which tend to get quite tired. Have a stretch out. So these muscles right under here, either side of the back, which get quite tired at the end of the day. So it's a really nice, relaxing movement to do if your back feels a little bit grumpy. So there's just a couple of movements to help to hopefully release the shoulders and the lower back and the legs. Thank you so much for joining me.